All right, so our session opens at a place called Tenu, which is the kind of ruined remains of a village where Nagimo used to live. Last session, Nagimo and a new character named Skintu, who had kind of joined up with him, um, made their way across. Ultimately, you've heard about a kind of garrison or something that's being established up on the rim of this place called Sheol's Cauldron. And Nagimo and Skintu are going up there to do a little spy work to kind of see exactly what's going on. And at the end of our session, Balder, you had been kind of pursuing them, trying to kind of catch up, and you all get to that village. It's approaching near the end of the day, and I will just kind of leave it there, and we can imagine Balder has kind of appeared on his skiff and made a landing, and you all know each other. Skin2 would see Balder coming up, and Nagimo Skin2 would look over at you and say, "It looks like we have some type of company. Do you know where this person might be from? Is he part of your tribe?"
No, I don't know his tribe. He's from Seraph. Seraphit?
Yes.
Yeah. He's from Seraphit. His name is Balder. He works for the same people as we, so I think we can accommodate him. Whatever his business may be.
And Skin2 will kind of accept what you say, but he clearly is kind of keeping an eye on Balder as he comes up.
Okay. Before I approach, I probably wave some kind of a peace sign flag, like I don't know, white flag or any type of flag like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I approach the barge next to his skiff. Then I kind of observe what's going on, and I make my first steps into his barge.
Okay. What? Oh, did we just slow down? No. Okay, so I'll say, Balder, we haven't spoken very much, but you're welcome here.
Hello, greetings. Well, basically, I was trying to find you.
Me?
Yeah. It seems that fate has woven its threads onto our days. I guess what you are seeking is also part of what I'm seeking at the moment.
Well, I know little of fate, so I can only take your word for it. What exactly is it that you feel that I'm seeking?
If I'm not mistaken, you are looking for some kind of an island, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, well, basically, I'm heading there as well.
All right. Well, I will tell you our mission is one of stealth and discretion.
Okay. Then if your quest is stealth and discretion, why is this person with you?
He is trustworthy.
And
Really?
Skin Two will try to whisper to Nagimo. Do you know anything about this? I mean, were you expecting him or somebody to come join us?
No, I wasn't expecting anything. But he's here now, so I suggest we...
Well, I know it looks a bit suspicious, and you have absolutely right to be suspicious of me. But here I am, and I guess you have to take my word for it.
Yes, I suppose we do. What? So what exactly? You've come to seek this island as well? What are you expecting to find on it?
Well, let's just say that I have some really important friends who have some trouble there. They want me to investigate what's going on, and that's it. Officially, that's it. Unofficially, the reasons are safe with me.
All right. Well, if we're all working for the Fedry realm, then it seems we have at least the mission in common to find out what's at this place.
Yeah, of course. We're working all for the Pedro run.
Okay, at this point, it is, I would say, the latter part of the afternoon. I mean, you had both kind of launched out in the morning, but you can see from now. I don't really have a scale to the map that's drawn, but I think it's reasonable to say it would take the better part of the day to kind of make it right across the Pison Weep. You pass by the Seraphit, which is the kingdom that Balder was a part of, and then kind of made your way further along. So, as I say, the latter part of the afternoon right now, and I guess you should decide what it is that you would like to do at this point.
Okay, well, I'll just speak on mine and Kentu's behalf and say, we will sleep here tonight and then ride the edge of the Sheol Cauldron in the morning, searching for this island. That's our plan.
Okay. I'm fine. That's fine with me. Do you want to take the first guard, or should I take the first guard? Do you want me the first one to guard the boat, or?
Oh, yes. That's fine. I'll stay up for a bit, not the first guard.
Okay. Nice. Okay, then without any pause, I immediately go to sleep.
Okay.
Just like that.
When he goes off to sleep, Skin Two will say, Skin Two was a new character, so I kind of filled in a little bit more of the details. I would imagine Skin Two is somebody who is your best guess would be around 19 or 20.
Okay.
A somewhat thin fellow, but he looks pretty good. Physical shape. He has you notice that on either side he has these long knives that he has sheathed on his two sides. He has a piece of rope that he kind of carries across his body, and you also notice that he has like a thinner twine as well that he has kind of coiled up on his side as well. you know, after Balder, you know, quickly goes off to sleep, you know, Skintu will say, you know, I'm fine taking a watch. Do you want me to maybe catch a little sleep here, and then if you want to switch off, I can spell you a bit.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so you know he will, you know, Skintu will go. You know, are y'all sleeping on the Skintu's little skiff barge? Is that where
Oh,
or are you
I
on land?
suppose.
Um, just a quick question: which boat is bigger, mine or his or Skin are there two boats in total or three boats?
Two,
Like
Two
two
boats.
boats.
two.
Yeah.
Two boats.
Okay. I guess it's a good idea. We sleep on the same boat, whichever is the biggest one,
Hmm.
instead of cramping
Oh,
up
okay.
like that.
All right. Sure. Um,
Or you want to go for some solid land, like you know, small islands or rock.
no,
Stuff
we
like
can
that.
sleep on the boats. That's fine.
Okay, all right. And we can tie the other boat to the big one.
Yeah, well, and the boats are on. You know, Tenu is a small little rise of land, so I imagine that you're either anchored or perhaps pulled up onto the shore of Tenu, of this village.
Yeah, could be. Maybe there are some like rock outcroppings, like ancient ruins that fell down, and just you know like sticks of fingers, like stones sticking out of the swamp. And we tie the boat down there. It's really old. It's full of you know mold and you know green stuff
Hmm.
like grass and mold. So it's tied down there.
Okay.
Could be.
Yeah, so you're close to, you're tied up, but you're very close to where the village was on that rise of land. You know, Skintu would go to the side of the boat opposite of Balder and lay down and go off to sleep. And you know, hours pass. It's a you know, you hear some noises of nocturnal animals out there, but there's not really any disturbance. I think after a few hours, you know, Skin would get up and you know say, okay, I feel refreshed.
Okay. So I'll sleep for a bit.
Okay, so you sleep for a bit, and why don't I have um, let me get both of you to do a check. This is kind of a somewhat alertness type check. Um, and let's do this with your will.
Okay.
And actually, I think in the
Sure.
case of Nagimo,
Mm-hmm.
because you always have with your demon, you always have this perception ability
Mm-hmm.
that's always on. Um, and what that allows the perception at the level of the power, correct?
Uh, yeah.
Let me just double check on that perception, which is that kind of even with your when you're not like using it.
It's adds the demon's power to whatever score is being employed for perception.
Okay,
So I would add the power to my will.
right. All right, so
It's a
you'll
lot
you
more dice.
correct. Yeah, so your will is 5, and the power is
Four.
four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be 4 and 5 or 9 dice.
Okay, and yeah, when you do that, just tell me what numbers you get.
Okay, wow. I've got 3 10s, so
Okay. And then what are your other numbers?
7 5 3 1 1 1.
Big on the two ends of the scale.
Yeah.
And Balder, let me just get you to roll your will on this one.
Okay. Hold on. My will is my will is 4. Okay. Oh. Okay. I count the dice. All right. 4 dice. It's 10, 9, 7, 2.
All right, so the way this is going to play out is you Nagimo, in the middle of your sleep, you get a nudge, and it's kind of clearly a nudge that's coming from Mashu, and it's suggesting that there's some trouble afoot.
Okay.
And also along with that comes your immediate realization that Skin2 does not seem to be on the boat anymore.
Okay. I'll open my eyes and I guess my mysterious other senses and take stock of what's going on around me with my hand on the hilt of my sword as I sit up.
Yeah, you had a pretty good roll. So as you start kind of taking stock, you hear a sound, coming from the island, and the sound would be, I mean, it clearly seems to be some yells that are coming from the island at some distance, and also, here in the swamp with the vegetation, things do get muffled fairly quickly. But yeah, you hear some muffled sounds of some type of yelling coming from the island.
Okay. I'll get out of the boat, and this is my home, so I feel like I should know a path where I can be able to try to take a path where I can observe what's going on without being seen,
Mm-hmm.
if that's possible. In any case, I'm trying to approach the scene, approach what I hear stealthily.
Okay. So you make your way to the island, and make your way over to the sound, and the sound gets louder. You also kind of pick up that there's some kind of gasping now, and there is a form that seems to be kind of gasping and seems to be moving towards you in the underbrush.
Okay, I am going to back up and keep distance between it and me as I try to make my way back. I may go down into the water and try to mostly swim back to the boats. But I also want to see what this thing is, so tricky situation. Generally speaking, I'm trying to retreat from the thing.
Okay.
And keep an option to just slip away.
I think it will become, being kind of careful. I think it will become eventually apparent that this thing moving towards you does seem to be human. I mean, you maybe occasionally hear a call of help. I think you also would probably hear your name.
Okay.
Being yelled.
Okay. Who
Not
speaks?
And when you say that, it says skin two. Help.
Come out then.
Okay. He will eventually kind of make his way out, and he says, "Are they still after me?" And he's looking behind him. He says, I heard something pursuing me.
Who? What? Why aren't you on the boat?
Okay. He also he's when he sees you, he's somewhat collapsed on the ground. I mean, he looks really you can't see any visible sign of damage, but he looks really shaken up at this point.
Okay. I'll throw him over my shoulder and take him back, or help him walk back, whatever needs to happen.
And he's more than happy. He's looking behind, but he says, I think they, whatever it is, has left. And he's happy to kind of go off with you.
Okay. I'll take him back to the boats and wake Balder up. Okay.
So you wake Balder up. Balder, in your dreams, you experience some of the same vague visions that you received last night, right? You see the silhouette of some type of island rising up out of the swamp. And I think the thing that's most powerful to you is part of your vision involves like seeing some type of gem on somebody's chest that's kind of emitting light. And that gem, when it kind of pulses with light, I mean, you really get a sense that there's power here, right? That you get a sense whenever you see that there's something powerful pulsing there. And I guess the one other thing I would say about your vision, you remember your other vision, you saw your previous queen who had been kind of sitting down and then kind of standing up. You see something similar, but this time, instead of the queen, it's the daughter of the queen that you have not seen. But a very similar situation where, it seems like there's some moonlight coming down, and, she's sitting on this like stone stool or plinth of some type, and her eyes seem a little bit vacant, but then she stands up and is lifting up her hands. Okay. But you get, you're having those visions, and then you apparently are getting nudged awake.
Okay. I will open my eyes and try to, come to reality. Where am I?
Okay.
All right.
I'll say, Balder.
Yeah?
Sorry to wake you.
No, it's okay.
You're a man who speaks of fate and other things that are beyond my ken. Skintu seems to have had a strange experience on the island, and I don't still know why he was on the island.
Okay,
but
remind me again. Which island are we on?
You're on Tenu is the name of the island, and this is where where Nagimo's village used to be. Right, it has like the ruins of these shacks now and stuff.
Actually, that question was in game because my character was completely lost.
Okay, I'll say yes. Here on Tenu.
Yeah.
Skintu was on the island, and I do not know why. But it seems he has a strange story to tell, and I thought you should be awake for it.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead, Skintu. Tell us what happened to you.
All right. Well, Skintu is still seems somewhat dazed. As I say, he doesn't have any real visible sign of like wound or anything like that. But he's holding his head, and he says, "I shouldn't have left the boat. I realize that was a mistake, but I saw some lights on the island, and I didn't know what they were, and it seemed pretty quiet, so I left the boat and went to the island to kind of see what was up with those lights, and I'm having a hard time remembering everything, but I remember approaching the shore on another part of the island, and when I got there, I got hit by something, and it knocked me. I don't know what it was that hit me, but I came back to myself, and I then felt like there was something awful. I didn't see anything. At that point, I didn't hear anything, but I knew I had to get out of there. There was like something, I don't know, it was like some force kind of reaching out for me. It made me sick to my stomach. And I just said, I've got to get going. And so I the best I could, I kind of made my way away from where I felt like that force was coming from on the shore. And I started to hear what I thought were animals, but I don't know. I was scared. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what it was that was going on there, but it was some bad stuff. And I'm looking at myself now, and I guarantee I was hit by something strong there. But he's looking at his arms, his legs, his chest. He says, I've got a screaming headache right now, but I seem to be okay right now.
Okay. Can I check his body if there's any sign of physical, mark of impact that is talking about, or is it like a mental attack?
There is no sign of physical harm that you can see.
Do I know any creature here that lives that has such an attack capability? Can I have any idea, or is it like really an absurd idea?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm from here. Is this anything that like lights that I would have heard of?
That there are, okay. In terms of the attack, the attack would seem somewhat strange to you because it doesn't seem like any animal. Now, in terms of lights, I would say that there are obviously there could be humans, but there are also some animals that that kind of
okay, right.
that have some type of phosphorescent or kind of glowing capabilities, like kind of like lightning bugs or those types of
Mhm.
things. I mean, there are some of those types of creatures that are around.
Yeah, because I'm split into two thoughts. A part of me thinks that there's something supernatural going on, and the other think that this poor man just walked into some creature's mating process and got hit by it. It's because he interrupted
It's
it. He saw some light and got really really curious and got stuck in the end. Anyway, I say, okay, you know what? Let's just investigate, right? We can just go in for a small like walk, observe the situation, and if it's really too hot or too dangerous, we can always go back.
okay.
All right. I am curious.
Okay.
So
Right.
you're going to head off to the area that Skin 2 came from.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go with him. And
All right.
should leave Skin 2 behind to watch the boats, I guess, right? Unless I don't think he'd come.
Well, yeah, I would say I think he's probably if you mention you can stay here with the boats. I think he'll be thankful to get a little rest and recuperation. He certainly would kind of describe to you before you go. Try to as much as he can give you a sense of where he came from. Plus, you kind of have a sense
Okay.
of that from where you had heard him.
Right.
Okay, so you kind of make
Okay.
your way. It is night. The moon is out. It's not bad weather, although it is foggy here. So it's not brilliant moonlight, but you're kind of able to work your way over. This island it's not a huge island. So when he says he walked across and came to another shoreline, I mean that's not a super long distance where he was kind of telling you, and you kind of get to what you think is the other shore.
Hmm.
Okay.
At this
Uh,
point, I would just say it seems you don't see at this point or hear at this point anything that seems out of the ordinary.
okay.
Okay. And do
Uh,
I?
But would just imagine that you're like on this very overgrown island. You've come to the shore. You now have the swamp in front of you. It seems pretty shallow, somewhat shallow out there. At least you see out there some trees that are kind of growing up out of the muck.
hmm. Can I inspect any sort of footprints from like that may appear that may belong to Steam, or is it really difficult?
Um,
Like for instance, if I can just see, okay, he was here, he struggled here, he walked there, or came. I mean, just a brief idea.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable to say, and given that Nagimo had kind of gotten a little reading on where this would have happened, you would have seen maybe some signs where you think, okay, maybe Nagimo when he was running through here, right? This is something place where he passed, just that the underbrush is kind of pressed down or something, right? So somebody who had kind of been crawling across it or running, right, has kind of knock down some of the underbrush.
Okay, so I'm turning towards you and say, okay, this is your island. What should we do?
Hmm. I see nothing out of place or unusual here. I don't sense anything.
Okay.
We can perhaps, if we go to the old village site, we could see if something has taken up residence there. Well, I'd like to walk around the island a bit long, but I don't think there's anything more we can accomplish if nothing jumps out at us.
Okay, I'm with you. Just you lead the way, okay?
Okay. I'll lead the way and just tell them about the different features on the island, where the old village site was, where we used to fish or do whatever, just talk about.
Okay, so when you do that, I mean, you kind of make your way around, having this conversation. You will catch the glimmer of some lights
Okay.
coming through the swamp,
Okay.
and it wouldn't take a genius to kind of figure out that those lights are coming from that general direction of that shoreline that you had initially walked towards.
Okay. There, what is that?
Kind of lower my eyes and well, there are lights. We should just keep our
Yeah,
we should just bow down.
there seem to be like 3 of them, and they actually, I think the best thing would be Nagimo.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you roll on your past?
Okay. I think I gave that a 5 because I related it to stamina.
Yeah, it would have to do with like the savage raised and yeah.
Okay. Well, that's 77551. Not great.
This may not be. That may still be okay. Yeah, you're gonna get. You will. When you see those lights and you see kind of the way that they're moving, they seem to be the lights of it's a kind of insect that appears out here. It's a kind of moth, but it's a kind of large moth that can kind of hover and move kind of like a hummingbird, but it does have kind of glow effects. They're not super common around here, but you have seen these like swamp glow moths before. And you can't make out the moths themselves, but the glowing lights seem to be it's in line with what you imagine, right? What you remember from these large moths.
Okay. Well, I'll just say, those are moths. It was foolish of Skin2 to get out of the boat just to follow them around. I don't know what they would have to do with any kind of actual threat or mysterious encounter.
Does those moths attack people, or do these effects like they do to Skin2, or is it just by pure coincidence?
No. Perhaps.
Okay. Then it was something probably else.
Perhaps he just hit his head on a branch.
Why not?
And Nagimo, I think this isn't really super strong, but talking about those moths, you do feel a slight tinge of hunger, not overpowering hunger, but your demon is perhaps taking note of your conversation in Mahul. I guess both hunger and curiosity that you feel inside.
Let's see. They do inspire. I'll say they do inspire a certain curiosity.
Okay.
The only thing. Well, okay. Let me think. So, the one thing that out of character that I'm sort of thinking of as a possibility is these moths are some kind of lure, being used as some kind of lure by some force. I'm trying to think if Nagimo would express that in some way. Or if, well, maybe he would say, you know, one thing that crosses my mind is sometimes a hunter uses a lure.
Yeah, okay, I know. No problem. So, what are you trying to imply here?
I think that if something made contact with Skin2, that something could also follow us on our mission.
Okay.
And so we should.
If you want, I can make a better search, like a more detailed search.
Okay.
The process may not be, pleasant to you, but it may bring much more detailed consequences.
Well, I think we need to do what we need to do to make sure
Okay.
that this is not a place of danger for us.
Then I contact Osman and politely ask him to grant me the enhanced, the perception ability. And I just try to look at beyond those three lights, like if there's anything that that uses these three lights like as a bait or like a fish line or hook line. Is there any creature or power behind that?
Okay, so let me get you to roll that. So you're going to add that the power of the demon, and this is kind of like just an enhanced perception that you're getting, but you're really kind of focusing in on the lights, trying to figure out what you can about them.
So basically, the power is 9.
Correct.
And since I'm just using my basic ability to look and inspect, I believe it's stamina. It's not will.
Okay.
Definitely not lore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what 10, 11 dice.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
All right. 10, 9, 6, 4, 2, 2. All right.
Okay. Let me. Okay.
7, 5, 5, 2, 2, 3. And that's
Okay.
all.
All right. You hone in on those lights, and you're able to actually pick up that that those lights are coming from moths. You're able to kind of pick up both on the sight as well as the kind of whirring wing sound of the moths, and their flight. I mean, your perception is picking up that their flight seems to have some relationship to where you are, right? That they are kind of moving up, and it doesn't seem to be just kind of random flights of moths or something like that, but they seem to be, kind of hanging around, moving together with each other, and they have some awareness of you.
Okay.
But they do seem to be moths, right? I mean, you're able to kind of like with your enhanced perception with the moonlight out there, you're able to pick up. Yeah, those are like these big kind of hovering, moving moths that are there.
Can I try to contact them like see if they're just plain moths or
Um, I guess I would need to know like how what you would be doing to. I mean, you
well,
contact them in terms of like.
hmm. uh, well, I have two ideas. First, I can ask Osman and like get his thoughts if they're just plain old bugs or like demons, or if he's not able to answer me. Maybe I can prepare some kind of a ritual, like a shamanistic ritual, and try to attract them here and to show me their real faces. If they're not, I mean, if they're just ordinary animal, they will probably not come. But if they're supernatural,
Mhm.
probably they will arrive to check what's going on.
Okay. Let me get back to you in 1 second. Let me just
Mm-hmm.
see what Nagimo is thinking at this point. If you're
Sure.
Um, I'm perfectly happy to let Balder do his his process. I'm just sort of curiously observing him and seeing what his ways are like, I guess.
so, okay, so Balder Osman, um, he, I mean, I think Osman, his reaction to those kind of hovering swamp moths is that they certainly are curious, but I mean, he's kind of confused by what it is that they're doing.
Hmm. Okay. Um, then I try to prepare a small ritual to attract them. I mean, if they're demons, they will probably be attracted, like summoning. No, it's not summoning. It's
Contact, I think.
contact. Yeah, contact. And if it fails, it's just going to be plain old moths.
All right. So are you trying to kind of put together a kind of summoning
Yeah, yeah,
ritual? Okay.
yeah. Yes,
Okay.
a
Well,
small one.
just give me a brief description of what this would entail. Like, what do you imagine
Uh,
this?
Probably I will draw some circles around me, including what was your character's name, Rod? I always forget your
Oh,
character's name.
Nagimo.
Not him. Okay. The circle is big, so it's me and Nagima inside.
Okay.
Uh, there are a couple of elements around it, like I basically pick up some brush and put it on fire, then procure some small bowl and put some water in it. Basically, I just try to create four elements, right? And we're inside, and I try to draw some like crude paintings of the demons that I know, like stone and like maybe butterflies or maybe small caterpillars, things that I know that they exist. And I try to, draw lines toward myself in the mud, so that these creatures may come through the earth and try to, come here, and whoever is the nearest one may come faster.
Okay. All right. So I'm reading the contact rule here. Um, well, one thing it says that bonus dice for contacting awarded for massive doses of hallucinogens. I don't know that you have massive doses of hallucinogens at your disposal right now.
No,
Um,
I don't think so.
okay, and Okay, and you're trying to do this relatively quickly because like there's also a time element. Like it says, right, a sorcerer may choose to take from 8 to 24 hours to perform a ritual, being very careful to get one bonus die. But it sounds like you're working a little bit more quickly than that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's not a, it's also not a like an immediate combat situation. I mean, you have the time to kind of draw some things and to go to work. So I think that will end up being a wash. I mean, you are getting in touch with the Earth insofar as you can. So I think I am going to award a bonus die for that. And so this ends up being the sorcerer's lore.
Okay.
What's your lore?
My lure is 4.
Okay, and then you're going to get a bonus die, so that would take you up to 5. That there is also a possibility. Let me see, Nagimo, are you going to just watch this, or are you going to try to participate in some way in?
Well, good question. I have a lore of 1, so I don't know what I can contribute. I mean, I'm sort of I forget how exactly the rules work, but Nagimo wouldn't know necessarily what this ritual is, so he wouldn't volunteer any help.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So let's see how this goes.
Okay. I'm rolling. Alright. It's 9, 8, 5, 4, 1.
All right, let me roll here. Let's see. All right. My highest number was, just to let you know, it was an 8. So you got a success on this roll.
All right.
So you are going to make a contact. The contact, though, is not coming from the moths, but from something closer to that shoreline that you were at, you know, initially when you were investigating. That general area is where the contact is coming from. And let me just read like the result of once contacted, the demon can be perceived and spoken to. Any kind of information can be exchanged. The communication stays open, so to speak, for about an hour. Okay. So you have the contact with what is clearly some type of demonic being.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the moths would be right currently kind of between you and wherever that demonic being was. And I guess you would also, I would say, through this are picking up that this demonic force has something to do with the behavior of those moths. So those moths themselves are not demons, but they seem to be controlled or commanded by some type of demon.
I turned to Nagimo and said, okay, we make a contact with a presence, right? He's listening to us. We can ask anything we want. I'm not sure if it's gonna reply back, but we can take our chances, okay?
All right.
Okay. We also need to do a humanity check, correct?
Oh yeah. Okay. My humanity is 4. Alright. So I have to roll humanity against your dice set, right?
Correct. Yeah, I'll be rolling. And is it humanity versus humanity, or is it humanity versus the demon's power? Need to we'll double check on this. Uh, yeah, your humanity versus the demon's power. That's the way it goes.
Okay.
But you can lose a maximum of one, right? You can't lose more than one.
Let's see. Okay. 8, 4, 3, 1.
It was close. Highest he rolled was an 8, but then his next highest one was a 7. So you will lose 1 humanity.
Okay. Right. So, in game term, if I lose a humanity, I know that if it reaches 0, I'm done. Unfortunately. But I just lost a point of humanity. So what should I do?
Well, I mean, I would say that in the game, there is no real mechanical penalty here, except you have clearly kind of gotten in touch with that demonic power, which is inherently inhuman. And I mean, if in role playing it, I mean, you could decide how that might kind of impact. I mean, I think that it does suggest to me maybe some immediate kind of disturbance that you feel. I mean, you might also. I mean, I could throw out that you may there is power there, right? I mean, and that's a big attraction for you, I think, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you've been in touch now with another source of demonic power.
Yeah, maybe the temptation.
All right. Then, okay. I turn to Nagimo and say, okay, we better hurry. I'm not gonna lose this opportunity. Okay.
All right. What is it? Does it want something with us? Is it planning to follow us?
Good question. I turn to Demon and say, what do you want from us?
The demon will. The demon wants you to come a little closer.
Oh. Okay. I think it's time we give back to our boat. No, I'm serious.
I mean, the demon wants you to come a little closer. And I guess the demon, you also pick up the demon is asking, who are you? What are you doing here?
Can I perceive his name? Or like
He says that his name is Asmund. Asmund. Asmund is his name.
I turned to Osmond and said, do you know any demon called Osmond? Like maybe your relative or someone in your family? Like an old friend of yours? Rival? Lover?
I think for this, let's do a lore versus lore roll on with Osmond's lore. It'll be Osmond's lore versus the lore of this demon.
Okay, Osmond's lore is 8.
Okay.
Alright, I got 10. 7, 6, 3, 1, 1. I'm gonna roll 2 more.
Okay.
9, 5. So the highest is 10,
And then-
after 9,
Okay.
9, and so.
All right.
Go.
Okay. Osmond has heard. I should have maybe picked a different name because Osmond and Osmond kind of sound similar. But Osmond has heard that name
Okay.
and says, or kind of, you get a sense that because this isn't like complete telepathic communication with Osmond or Osmond, but Osmond has heard that demon's name before, and you get a sense that this is a demon whose primary purpose is to be a sentinel, to be a watcher. He's kind of like a watchman demon.
So basically, it's guarding something, right?
Well, yeah, guarding or looking, or yeah, he's kind of a demon whose specialty is to be some type of watcher.
Okay. I turn to Osmond and say, "Okay, who's holding your leash, Osmond?"
Osmond says, "Come closer."
I think I'm fine where I am. Isn't this a little? Isn't it really cute to just attack really really simple people just minding their own business in the swamp, and you using 3 moths?
Actually,
Yeah, Osmond would say, few people in this part of the swamp are so innocent.
what did he do to Skin 2?
I think probably he checked his brains or something like that. Like he. Why did you attack our friend? Well, not my friend, his friend. Why did you attack his friend? Because he came too close, or what?
He Osmond says he attacked me first. I was just defending myself. You don't need to be worried about that, though. I can see that you have no ill will towards me.
Could you kind of repeat how that guy attacked you?
You saw his knives. Those are.
He what? So I couldn't understand.
You saw his knives, right?
Yes.
Skin 2 is, he was carrying two knives. What do you think he uses those knives for?
I don't know. Hunting fish?
Does that mean you're talking to an animal of some sort?
I don't know. But he said that Skin to hurt him with his knives. So he attacked you with his knives, right?
You get a little impression from Osmond. He's very suspicious of that idea, right? I mean, Osmond, he hears this. Your demon thinks, yeah, that doesn't seem to make
It's not
sense.
plausible. It's not
Yeah.
plausible at all. I mean, I can really help you. Oh, sorry. Okay, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, can you ask it if it's gonna leave or if it has to stay here? Because if it has to stay here, then we just leave.
Okay. You heard the question. You gonna stay or you gonna leave?
Osman says, I will do what I want to do.
Of course. Of course.
Osman, your demon, you get an impression that Osmond is like Osman. In other words, he's also an object demon. So now your demon obviously in a way can move around, but that Osmond, the nature of Osmond as a sentinel demon that he knows a little bit about is that he's an object demon, similar in a way. I mean, not that Osmond is your demon's not a sentinel demon, but right that they share a certain similar nature.
Okay, I got it. Probably he's too heavy, so it's not easy to move around. But here's my last try. If you want, if you can come closer, I can heal your wounds as a gift of goodwill.
And you get the sense from Osman. He says, "Of course, I receive no wounds. I had the upper hand in this encounter. Come closer."
All right. Well,
it's like I'm talking to Hal from A Space Odyssey.
yeah.
Please come closer. All right. Should we go on or should we just leave? Because it will probably attack us.
I think we should leave.
Yeah. There's no point in mindless action.
Yeah.
And probably it's really old. Like I imagine some sort of like an old stone archway or something like that, or a lamp post. Could be even like a statue or something. Really old, big and heavy. All right. Okay, then I dismantle the contact area, and I turn tail and go back to the boat.
Okay, I'll go with him.
Yeah, that's fine. The glow moths, they kind of recede back. They stop their glowing effect, and right, they recede back. And yeah, if you go back to the boat, you'll be able to get back there. And it seems, on that part of the island seems very peaceful. Skin2 is when you make your way back. Skin2 is happy to see you. He wants to know if you found anything over there.
There's something unwholesome that lives here. This island isn't for human beings anymore.
Yeah, well, and Skin2 is he's happy to see that you're back. He's also kind of happy to hear that there doesn't seem to have been any attack or whatever it is that he experienced from there. So at this point, do you just want to wait out the rest of the night and next morning?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. But before we get there, I would say, as you get Nagimo, as you get a few more winks, you have a dream, and the dream is somewhat disjointed, but it presents you with some kind of images and impressions of your village prior to its destruction. So it's like, it seems kind of like a flashback. You have a recollection of repairing a net, cooking a stew, drying clothes. At least that's the way it starts. And then before you wake up, those kind of, they seem like pleasant images, but at the end of the dream, you get more disturbing images, which are, images of huts being put on fire. You see an image of a wounded elder of your village with a head wound, kind of coming out of the swamp onto the island. A warrior with a slashed arm. And I would say one unusual thing about those images in particular is that you recognize the elder, you recognize the warrior, but you didn't actually see that yourself. In other words, my understanding is that you came back to Tainu after it had been destroyed, but you seem to be picking up some images of the village under attack, although you yourself didn't witness that.
Okay.
But you otherwise, the evening passes, the sun comes up, and
sort of wake up heavily and rub my head and think, what a terrible dream.
I think Skin2 gets up early. He seems to be much better. From what you can tell, whatever hit him, he seems to have recovered. He maybe has. We could say that he has some kind of fishing line, and he's maybe caught a couple fish early in the morning.
Oh, good. We can have breakfast.
Yeah. So at this point, what do you want to do? Are you?
I think just have breakfast and head into the cauldron, or on the edge of the cauldron. I've got planned.
Okay. So you all head up. Are you taking both boats, or are you gonna get into? I mean, that's up to you. I mean that both boats, they're kind of these flat bottom swamp craft,
right?
And they can accommodate all three of you, or if you want to go in two separate boats, that would be fine as well.
Right. Well, I think we can take the boats, both of the boats, but once we spot the place we're trying to get to, we might want to approach on one boat. Well, play it by ear, I guess.
Sure. Good idea. No problem.
Okay. And Nagimo, we had talked last session about Nagimo being able to kind of trail his sword in the water, right, to pick up.
Right.
So we'll just imagine that, you head out and you have your sword in the water, picking up things. I think, occasionally you probably pick up, various, electrical impulses from living things. But I think for the most part, you would know kind of how to distinguish, like, okay, that seems like it may just be a big fish, or maybe there's like some alligator turtle, or things like so. For a couple hours, things seem pretty normal. But let me, Nagimo, let me have you do a little perception check with that special catfish spirit ability that you have.
Okay, so I'm at a 998 for my top ones, and I can keep going if necessary.
Okay, let me roll. Okay. You all right, you're making your way up, kind of the beginning of Sheol's Cauldron is not a clearly defined border, but you kind of know where things get kind of you're moving out of the weep and into this kind of untamed swamp area. You're kind of jolted. You pick up something that seems to be approaching from the cauldron, and you kind of wish you had picked them up a little earlier. You kind of are surprised that they are, whatever it is closer than what you would like. But it seems to be at this point something large, has a kind of robust electrical signature of a large animal or something that when you glance over there, you're not able to immediately see it, but I think you would say it's something perhaps moving underwater, and it's closer than what you would like for comfort.
Okay. I'll get a javelin ready in my hand and just warn everyone something's coming from the water.
Okay. Can I grab a bow and an arrow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Skin 2 says, do you want me to prepare, or should I continue to paddle?
Try to be ready, but I'll see. Well, let's see if he can. I'll try to give him directions to break contact with the thing, or take evasive action.
Well, and just to set this up, okay, so this is a kind of swampy area.
Yeah.
So there aren't any really completely dry ridges of land, but it's not like you're in the middle of a lake or something like that, right? There's occasionally kind of trees that are growing up, and underbrush. You can areas where it seems like you could step out of the boat and be in like knee deep water. There are other areas where it'd probably be, So you yeah. So in terms of you could stop where you are if you want to. There is stuff around you though, if you would want to use any of that.
Okay. Well, I'll tell him to try to get to try to guide the boat to a high ground, to some kind of ground that we can get off on.
Okay. Yeah, he says, I don't see any ground, but there's I would say that there are a couple trees that are kind of growing up there. There certainly should be muck, right, that they're growing up out of.
Right.
All right, and so you are attempting that. I would say that as that maneuver is going on, Balder, I'm
Well,
assuming your boat is kind of stopped and you're just poised with a.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
oh wait, well, is Balder's boat? Oh, it isn't. It's not attached to us, right? So.
In fact, it was attached to us when we docked and we spent the
Oh,
night.
okay. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
assume
But you've
that
been.
but I assume that the boats are still tied together. So
I mean, you
I
could. I mean,
think
I
some
we could imagine like a little lead line, right? So that you're both kind of
sure,
like rowing up there, but you have some type of line that
sure, sure, no problem.
would be attached.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, so I guess what I would like to do is be able to use my knowledge of the situation to give Skin to like maybe a bonus to get us to a safer spot that could
Sure.
potentially give us bonuses into a future role if we need to actually fight this thing.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
That's what I'm
So given this situation, I'm imagining you're kind of now pulling Balder's boat a little bit over to where those trees are, and to kind of simplify it, so we have Nagimo's boat in the lead, kind of pulling Balder's boat. Balder, you're sitting there with the arrow, and then I would say about 20 feet behind you, you see something large that seems to be surfacing.
Okay, I scream. I turn my back and scream. Okay, it's coming.
Okay.
Nagimo, at this point, what do you do? Balder
Is
is.
it? If it's in throwing range, I'll throw. If not, then I'll wait till it. I guess the question is whether I do that or make a roll to guide. Whether I make a roll to throw, I'll make a roll to throw at the thing if it's in range. If not, I like to make a roll to guide Skin to.
Yeah. Skin2 says, "Do you want me to keep going, or should we head back to Balder?"
Wait, we're connected to him, right? Still, or did we decide we were? Or
You are but okay.
but
So
it's
we,
a long.
yeah, but you have a longish line kind of rope connecting the two, and you're kind of pulling him
Well,
along.
well, I tell you what, I will swim. I will say keep going and then swim over to Baldur's boat.
Okay. You
With
swim.
my
Okay.
javelin in my teeth, I guess.
Okay. Um. All right. So at this point, I think you get to the boat, but that other thing that has been swimming has also basically gotten to the boat.
Okay.
Balder, you looking down at what this is, it seems to be a very large alligator or crocodile, from what you can make out.
Okay. Like, is he trying to get on the barge, or is just following us, or?
Well, I would say his speed has picked up, and you see the eyes, and it seems ready to attack.
Okay. Then I think I fire off an arrow.
Okay.
Is there any possibility that I can is there any open flame source that I can just put some flame on the arrow and fire one at him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that you would have a need to have an open fire as you are working your way up.
Okay. Then I'll just fly an arrow to the alligator.
Okay. So this is going to be a stamina roll.
My stamina is 2. Let's see. Probably it will be more affordable. 7 and 8. 8 and 7.
Okay.
Not bad.
Let me see. Make sure. Your arrow. Alligators, crocodiles have pretty hard skin. You manage to. Your arrow actually manages to kind of hit it, but then bounces off. And at this point, it surfaces. It is on the edge of the boat. Unusual thing is the head comes up, and these two arms with claws appear on the boat. They don't look like alligator claws. That looks like more like the arms and claws of a giant bear.
Okay, so it's kind of like a mutation. All right.
Nagima, what do you do? I mean, you get on the boat like shortly before this
If
whatever
it's
this
rearing,
is.
if it's rearing onto the boat, I will drop the javelin, pull out one of my knives, and try to. Or actually, I tell you what, I will instead. I will just throw the javelin and try to hit the creature in the eye. As I sort of line up a shot at pretty close range. But.
Okay.
Or almost not even throwing, but just thrusting at its eye while I grab it, while I pull out a knife with the other hand, getting ready for closer work.
Okay.
Knife or sword.
Okay. So why don't we get you to roll? This will be a stamina. And okay. I think Savage Raised is going to come into play here. I think Trained Soldier is also going to come into play here. I mean, this you're dealing both this is physical combat along with something that is like a swamp being. So you're going to get 2 additional ones for that.
Okay. All right, so I've got a 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 3, 1.
Okay, and this is incredible. Okay, I rolled a 10, a 9. An 8, a 6.
Okay.
And then my next highest one was 3. So your 5.
Okay.
Your 5 gets it. All right.
Okay.
So it takes the damage. Right. Let me get my. Okay. It seems like it is intent on climbing into this boat. And I think the way that we'll do this is the 2 of you can decide what you want to do, and then we'll see what it's going to end up doing. Because if you're not effective against it, it may be all the way in the boat. Then. I would also say it is a sizable creature. Okay.
Okay. Well, it's going to have to use its arms to pull itself on the boat, so I want to sort of climb around on its back and try to picture what. Again, I think with a long knife, just try to drive it into its eye through the brain. Is what I'm going to go for.
Okay, and so you're kind of climbing over the boat, trying to get on it to kind of deliver this blow.
And I do have fast, if that's relevant. I mean, fast, according to the description, it sort of lets you stretch how much you can do in a single action.
Correct. Let me, and I like the description of what you're trying to do, so I'm going to give you one more bonus for that as well as with the fast ability to kind of be effective at maneuvering.
Okay, so the fast dice are separate. They're just going to affect me going before the alligator, I guess. So I've got... All right, well, I do have... For the purposes of going first, I do have a 10.
Mm-hmm.
But then my regular roll is... My roll just for the effect of my action is 8, 8, 7, 4, 3.
Okay. Let's see how I do. You are also, you get another success with that.
Okay.
And Balder, what are you going to do? You end up... Balder.
Sorry. Yep.
Sorry. So Nagimo has delivered a blow into in the head area of the whatever this is. I mean, it's an alligator with, it seems like, some bear parts on it.
Yep.
What do you want to do at this point?
Is it still moving, or is it crying in pain or screaming, or?
I would say it's probably angered by the blows that it's received.
Okay. I try to, get Osmond to attack him with a psychic blast, so that maybe with the push of the psychic force, he can leave the boat and leave us in peace.
Okay, so let me just look up psychic force. Okay. So why don't you try that? So your psychic force, you're going to be rolling with the power.
Okay, power plus my lore, or just the demon's power?
I think it's the demon's power.
Okay.
It says, oh, no, wait, 1 second. The user may use his or her will as a ranged attack, doing damage on the fist column. Okay. And is the user here is Osmond? Is that right?
Okay.
Is the user Osmond? So that would be 9.
All right then. I'm just gonna roll 9 dice. Alright. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got 110, 3 7, 1 4, and 1 2. I'm gonna roll 2 dice again. Sorry, I'm gonna roll 1 dice again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 8. So it's 10, 8, 3 7, and the rest is really small numbers.
Okay. He you get a sense that you have caused some damage to him. He at this point with that, I mean, he's still angered, but there have been three attacks that he's taken. Let me do this. He's going to try one attack on Nagimo, and then he's going to literally abandon ship. So, get my dice here. So this is going to be a stamina versus stamina roll.
Okay.
Okay, and you will get your bonuses for the your swamp, your savage raise, trained soldier. Those will come into play. Okay.
Okay. Okay, I have 10, 10, 8.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Yeah. So he kind of moves after you hit him. He kind of like tries
That's
to
the
maneuver
roll.
his head over. I would say you end up falling off of him, but he
Okay.
misses you, and he will jump off the ship. Let me also
Okay.
tell you this, Nagima. When you were up there on his head, you noticed kind of planted into his skull
Okay.
a little gem of some type that seemed to be kind of fused into the skull of this thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Interesting.
but it kind of makes that maneuver and it plops back into the water and it dives down.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll climb back onto the boat, and I'll tell Balder that was no natural animal.
Nope,
It
it
had
was.
it had a strange stone in its head.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you know? I mean, how much do you know about these stones?
I've never seen anything like them before.
Okay. But by the way, what was your demon? Was it sword or?
No, it's a parasite. It's inside.
Oh, okay.
It's a tribal spirit that's inside me.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
But,
and you had Balder, you had picked up that earlier. I don't think you've had really a discussion about it, but you had a very impressive lore roll when that happened, so that you were able to kind of pick up from the telltales, right?
Mhm.
That there was a parasite demon inside of Nagimo.
Okay. All right. I believe you have some sort of friend in you, right?
You might say that.
Okay. Well, that stone is sort of like a friend to that alligator. I have one that too,
I see.
right?
So this is something to do with you?
No, I don't. I don't think so. It's just plain coincidence. I hope it's coincidence,
Hmm.
but it changes. Like it's like I don't know, creatures in the sea. Some of our friends may come with like essences, like breaths. It lives inside us. Some are cast in stone. Others may take various shapes. But I believe you are in some sort of a pact with it, right?
I suppose so. Could put
Okay.
it that way.
Mhm.
I have taken it in me. In
Or
order
probably
to,
it has entered you, right? Like it has.
yes.
Okay, nice. Well, uh, I open my shirt up to here and I show him my chest with stone.
All right.
This is what I've been carrying for a long time.
So this stone has something to do with why you are coming to this place with.
No, well, no. Basically, what happened is that uh, let's say someone in power questions me, gets some sort of a lead for a possible threat. The stone is just a part of my being. It has nothing to well, it may have some clues about why I'm here, but I honestly just getting some ideas about it. So basically, what I'm here is plain official investigation.
All right.
But the stone is really helpful. It can send messages to me in my dreams. Uh, you name it.
I see. Well, then that crocodile then was sent by someone with a power like yours.
Could be. Or it was already, I mean, could be that crocodile was just using the stone for itself. It sounds stupid, but
Perhaps.
why not? That thing we spoke on the island, who uses that at mobs, were similar to your friend as well. It was just in a different body and shape, and different attitude, of course.
All right. Well, I think that is enough for now.
Yep.
We still have to go on with our mission.
Yep, sure.
At this point, like Skintu would have made it to those trees and kind of tied up to one of those trees growing up out of the swamp and kind of pulled you up. He has seen a little bit of that fight, and he
Okay.
He says, "What in the world was that thing?" He says, I've never seen an alligator that size or an alligator that looked like that.
It was a creature not entirely of nature.
Clearly, and he looks out towards into the depths of Sheol's cauldron, and he says, "Well, it seems like some of those legends of this place may have some truth to them. I mean, I've heard all sorts of crazy stories about the things that come bubbling up out of the cauldron. I, of course, initially thought they were just stories, kind of spooky stories to entertain people, but yeah."
Well, Boulder has a boat, and he has his own business at Island too. I wouldn't hold it against you if you wanted to turn back now.
And Skintu says, "No, this is like Skintu,
okay.
right?" And Skintu says, I'm still standing. I'm still breathing.
All right. Well,
I'm ready to continue on.
Well, I'm glad to have you then.
Especially I can see that I'm with somebody who knows how to wield the weapons quite well.
Well then, let's untie and carry on.
Okay.